everybody. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mark.
And
Distracted.
this is Strange Stuff Podcast. And I say good morning because it is the fucking morning.
Yep. I mean, of course, I've been awake since 6:30, but to get a call from you at what time was it? 7 something or others?
10 to 7, I think.
Yeah. So hang on, I'm just checking whether Tudor Arms is still in operation.
I mean, pubs everywhere are having a tough time, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was closing down. I remember it being incredibly expensive when I used to go there, as compared to other pubs in Stockholm even. They sort of traded off their name as an English pub and
No, it is actually.
the English.
Apparently it is still open.
Where did you hear it closed?
Because I happened to be literally in the area, and I thought I'd remembered where it was, but obviously I got the wrong address.
And that's one of the perils of growing old.
Yes, getting lost in a city you used to live in, for God's sake.
You know what? My Tvetstuga is in the building next door. How many times do you think I've tried to break into the house on the ground floor?
Oh, really? Getting the wrong one? Nice.
Yes, I just come up the stairs from the Tvetstuga, and automatic mode is to go to the door that I live in my building.
Yeah.
And I just, they must know it's me by now.
They must think you're a criminal. Criminal. But
anyway,
it was nice to be in Stockholm, I'll tell you. It was very full of people.
Yeah, but that's what cities are.
You're right. Yeah.
So you're away next week, I think, and the week after? Or is it?
No, I think I'm leaving on the Friday.
All right, so
Friday
you're here for
morning.
next week.
So I'm here next Thursday, but not 2 Thursdays after that.
Right.
I can't believe you're just casually replacing me with some interloper.
You're easily replaced. I mean, I could literally put a tub of lard on the chair.
Prescott. Was it Prescott?
No, I think it was, I did work. It was Willie Whitelaw, maybe?
No, I think it was Prescott.
No, it was a prick. I think it was the Chancellor of the Exchequer. He was an arrogant
Osmond,
prick.
Norman Lamont.
It might have been Lamont, but probably not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah.
Luckily, we don't have to remember these idiots.
Not for long.
Hopefully, it won't be long before we don't have to remember that stupid bitch who's been fiddling her income taxes by buying her third house.
Oh, Angela Rayner.
And claiming it as her main residence so she didn't have to pay the full stamp duty. What a cunt. How dare she?
You see, this is what I find interesting. So what you're worried about is that. That's your main concern.
What I'm worried about is that they feel that they can actually just blasé and get away with this crap while putting the rest of the nation in prison for doing the same thing. It's just another brick in the wall, isn't it?
No.
Yes,
I mean, obviously it's an issue, and clearly she's going to pay for...
No, she needs to be gone. She's committed a fucking crime.
No, she hasn't.
Yes, she has. It's fraud.
It's not.
It's tax evasion. Tell me how it's not tax evasion. She lied about where she lives to pay less tax. That is tax evasion.
I think it was tax avoidance, but anyway,
No.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you in terms of she's done wrong. She's going to pay the price. But what's interesting is that the offence that she has committed, if she has committed an offence, is trivial compared to the offences that, for instance, God knows how many of the Tory politicians committed during their reign, and nothing was ever said.
But once the dominoes start falling, hopefully they'll continue falling. You've got to start somewhere, and we've been given a golden opportunity to get rid of this useless hag whose main aim is to keep the poor people poor
No, I mean, the mere fact you're talking about it means you've fallen for what in my mind, the establishment as I see it, wants you to think about.
So you think, oh, make her pay the tax and we'll call that it?
No, what
No,
I
not good
would
enough.
what I would like you to spend your time focusing on, which is what I try and spend my time focusing on, is the tens of billions of pounds that's avoided by these super wealthy and avoiding their tax. That's what I'm interested in getting sorted out.
I'm also very interested in
but you're not talking
tens
about
of
it.
billions.
You're talking about Angela
no, because that's
Rayner.
not in the newspaper today.
Exactly, that's
But
my point.
I'm also
That's
interested
precisely
in
my
the
point.
tens of billions that was siphoned out to their friends and family during COVID.
No, nothing
But
to do with
no
COVID.
one's
It's
talking
going on
about
now.
that either. I
Nothing to
know
do with
what's
COVID.
going on now. I know
Exactly.
what's going on now.
And how often does that appear
But why
in
am
the
I not
newspapers?
allowed to get mad about Angela Rayner?
Because it's a distraction against the real problem.
I don't care. It's still a problem that needs solving.
That's fine. You don't care about the tens of billions that are being.
That's exactly what I said, word for word, isn't it? I don't care about the tens of billions.
No,
I said I don't care that you think I should be focusing on something. Just because you like Formula One doesn't mean I have to like Formula One.
No, I'm not saying you do.
I can watch a boxing match while you're watching your race, and we can both be equally satisfied with the result.
Andy. All I'm saying is I'm not really bothered about Angela Rayner when there's tens of billions of pounds in tax avoidance being carried out on an annual basis by the super wealthy that never appears in the newspapers.
Never ever change. And we can't do anything about it.
Oh, I see.
But we can do something about the petty thievery that these fuckers get away with.
That's right. So focus on the petty thieves and forget the big criminals.
Plug the leak, and eventually the puddle will stop forming on the floor.
No, it's not. No, because they've already succeeded. They've succeeded by focusing all the media attention.
You're going to tell me that I have
been
been blinded by the super rich and their master plan.
No,
believe
you've been
me,
blinded by the media.
Believe me, I've got my list of people to go up against the wall, and apart from you, all the super rich are on it as well. So just
apart from me, I'm not super rich. You mean
it doesn't matter?
I'm
just going to put you up against the wall. You came first under the M's.
Here's an interesting nugget of information. So, you know my feelings towards Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, you love him.
And you may be surprised to hear that when I'm in England in a couple of weeks' time...
You're going to his house.
Nearly.
Fucking hell.
I'm actually going
You're borrowing
to visit
his helicopter to do a bit of Harrods shopping.
England's biggest Amazon depot in Swindon.
Why?
Because
Have they fucked up your helicopter order?
They do tours of it.
Why would you want to go to watch those poor slaves? That's human trafficking.
Now, that's exactly what I'm interested in doing.
You're contributing to human trafficking.
I'm not.
So there's an issue we could discuss.
I'm getting informed about what's going on. I mean, you know my stance on Jeff Bezos, so you can't imagine I support him in any shape or form, but I do want to see what goes on there.
Yeah, that's what the camp commandant said at Auschwitz. I am not guilty of anything. I am observing so I can make a report later.
I don't know whether that's what the camp commandant said. Anyway, so you got the media focusing on Angela Rayner. I mean, fair enough. That's what they want to do. That's if you're Murdoch, that's obviously where you want to focus your attention. What about Farage in America? What was he giving evidence in America for?
Well, why not?
But what's he got to do with America?
He's warning America about what's going on in the UK with this Online Privacy Act, which is basically a censorship of the English language again.
What
and
are you
an
talking
invasion
about?
of privacy.
A censorship of the English language? What?
Yeah, they're basically cutting off portions of the internet and making people not being able to access the freedom of information that is available to everybody today.
What?
Do you know nothing about it?
No, what are you talking about?
Well, I've got a friend in the Netherlands.
Yes.
Who uses his Twitter account, but he uses it via a VPN.
Yeah.
And he was based in London, And all of a sudden, his Twitter account has started denying him access to certain people that he followed because they weren't sure of his age and they wanted him to prove that he was over 18 to access his Twitter account. And they wanted personal ID. And that's just, no. That is such an invasion of privacy.
Of course it's not. Establishing someone's age so they don't access adult content.
It's not adult content. This was like artists that he follows and where they display their work. This is not adult content. The thing is,
are you saying that everybody has to give their age?
In the UK, it's becoming that way. You have to prove you are who you say you are. But the thing is, it's so easy to get around. I can buy a whole new identity online for $10. And it will stand up to any internet check.
Sorry,
it's a pointless exercise.
But sorry, what's this? What is the bill in the U? I mean, what is it? Privacy? Did you say
the Online Safety Protocol or something, or the Online Safety Act? And it shouldn't be called that because it's got nothing to do with safety.
So what you're saying is that you have to establish who you are. You actually have to give your identity to access the internet.
More or less. It's more convoluted than that. The thing is, it's a liberty. They're basically trying to make you just accountable for everything that's online ever. And it's just wrong.
Make you accountable for what's online?
You know what I mean? Everything you've ever posted.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you be accountable for everything you've posted?
What, are you accountable for everything you've ever said to someone? Drunk or sober?
Absolutely.
Really? Can you be prosecuted for it?
I'm not talking about being... Of course you're responsible for what you say and
Can you be prosecuted for it?
What's that got to do with anything?
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote Father Ted. Do you know his name?
Exactly. Now, what was that story? He got he got arrested.
He had 5 armed policemen waiting for him when he flew home from America.
Yeah. But what was the reason?
Just because he made a couple of tweets.
About?
One of them was a trans person who was complaining about not being allowed to use women's changing rooms.
Yeah.
And he responded that any woman confronted by a trans person in a female-only space should just punch him in the balls.
Oh, I see. So he's sort of playing on the fact they've got balls.
Which, as a comedy writer, that's fucking genius.
Yes.
If she's invading your space, punch him in the balls.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
No. That's 5 armed police waiting to arrest you for hate crime.
But
fucking unbelievable.
No. I completely agree. To have 5 armed policemen to arrest a comedian for an online tweet.
To have 1 armed policeman is too many.
No. You're right. I completely agree with you. But that's got absolutely.
But that's the way the UK is going. It's just another Big Brother monitoring situation.
Yeah, but there's been a media uproar about it. So there's been backlash for the action that the police took. So in the future, they'll think twice about doing it. Overreacting.
It's too late. It's too late. It is too late. His career is over. Do you know he was...
ridiculous.
Listen to me. He was asked to leave the production of his own stage play of Father Ted because the people financing it felt it wasn't a good look for him to be on the board anymore.
Yeah, but you're... Okay,
no, but it's ruined his fucking career.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with taking responsibility for what you say?
He's not responsible for saying anything. He made a fucking joke.
Yeah, but the point is that the people who are making such a fuss about it are the media.
No, the people who are making a fuss about it are the people who are most offended by it, which are the very people who are in women's changing rooms swinging their nuts.
Of course,
A very small minority.
Don't be absurd, Andy. No one would ever heard of this if the media hadn't picked it up and blown it out of all proportion. It's the media, again, distracting the people from the actual problems that are affecting society. The inequality of wealth distribution. This is a perfect story for them. No one gives a shit.
Ever gonna confront that.
Do you honestly believe
until
that
we
there
take
are
up arms?
Transgender people out there who are bothered about a comedian making jokes about kicking them in the balls?
There are transgender people out there actively looking for comments like that, that they can be offended.
Okay, well,
I promise you.
Yeah, but the point is that there's always going to be reactions, overreactions, until people find an equilibrium. It was the same with...
But when the police are overreacting in that sort of sense, that is unacceptable.
Yeah, but they've been brought to book by the public reaction.
Yes, but who's going to compensate the man for the money he's lost due to this fucking overreaction?
Yeah, but this is today's news. Tomorrow it will be forgotten.
No.
Yes.
This is a man who should be able to retire, who's now in financial hardship.
What, because of what happened 2 days ago? He's in financial hardship.
It's been going on for years with him.
What do you mean? People have been
He was one of the first people to be cancelled in the cancel culture.
Was he?
Yes.
What?
And he is literally financially struggling from it.
What are you talking about? Why do you say this? What has been cancelled? What of his has been cancelled? He was incredibly successful.
He personally cancelled. You're cancelled because of what you say. Therefore, we're cancelling you. And they do. They are successful at it. They get people fired. They get people blacklisted because the scaredy cats, your lefty-leaning liberals, are too scared to upset the 0.1% of the population who are offended. So they fucking take the safe way out.
But I'm one of those lefty-leaning liberals.
Yes, and you are guilty. You helped cancel him, you fucker. I loved Father Ted.
But I support freedom of speech. I think people can say whatever they like, but they have to take responsibility for what they say. And your actions. You can do whatever you like, but you've got to take responsibility for what you do.
Well, he got 5 armed police for saying punch him in the nuts. Every week I say shoot them in the face. How many am I going to get?
You're right. You could have the whole SWAT team knocking on your door.
Fucking bring them on.
What are you talking about? Punch them? Punch who in the face?
Punch him in the balls.
No, but what are you talking about? Punch? Oh, I see. You mean other things that you say.
I always say shoot them in the face, not punch them.
Yeah, who's them?
Anyone who upsets me. Yes, fucking shoot them in the face. I'm going to shoot you in the face in a minute.
Oh dear. Anyway, there's that. So yes, I didn't quite understand what he had said. I mean, it's quite a funny joke. Why don't comedians get arrested all the time?
Well, some comedians are too big, like Ricky Gervais. Can you imagine if the police arrested him and he said some really fucking close
I think that could have been a Ricky Gervais joke, actually.
Probably.
So you got that going on. Nonsense, of course. You got this Farage thing in America. I still don't understand why he's a witness in front of the Committee on Freedom of Speech. Oh, of course, I do know why. Obviously, he was invited by Trump to say how of course, agreeing with how terrible it is in the UK. People can't say anything.
Yeah. And, we don't have a constitution, whereas they have their First Amendment rights.
Well, what are you talking about? What's that got to do? You think you've got freedom of speech in America?
Yes.
Don't be ridiculous.
It's actually in their constitution.
I know it's what it says in the constitution, and that's why it's so staggering that all you need to say is say something against Trump and you get arrested or deported. Is that freedom of speech?
It is. You've said what you wanted to say.
I mean, seriously.
But that's why they're having these fucking committees about it now, because it's obviously not working.
Oh, you're right. But you think the situation is worse in England than it is in America?
I don't know, because I've got no experience of actually being in America and experiencing it. And unless you have, you can't really have an opinion, because what you read in the newspapers, as we all know, is a load of bollocks.
Well, of course, you can have an opinion, because you don't have to only you can actually listen.
You can have,
unless it's all AI
opinion.
generate. You can listen to what people say, the words that come out of their mouth.
Yeah, but you know, I speak to people in America all the time.
Yeah,
and I don't hear anything like what's in the news.
Oh no, of course, the news. But you can listen to politicians when they're talking. You can.
Why would you ever listen to a politician? When did a politician last tell the fucking truth about anything? Never.
Yeah, but you can make a judgment on whether. Yeah, but they still have the words coming out of their mouths, and you can make a judgment as to whether it's.
If they say it's 8 o'clock in the evening, you know damn well it's 6 o'clock in the morning. So you can make that kind of judgment, but that's about it. Fuck me, I'm going to shoot them all in the face. Come on, SWAT, do your worst.
Talking of that, I watched that movie the other day, The Darkest Hour, the Winston Churchill.
Oh, he's another fucking racist paedophile motherfucker.
I don't think he was a paedophile.
Oh, it's good enough for me. I started that rumour. It's fucking true now.
He's gone, unfortunately. So.
Oh, has he died?
Winston Churchill a few years ago.
What do you mean he's gone? What do you mean he's gone?
He's died.
He's been gone for years.
I know, decades.
So what are you talking about?
I'm just saying, I saw the movie. That's all I said. I saw the movie.
Yeah, and then you went,
suddenly.
No, he's gone, unfortunately. It's been gone for like most of my life.
Needs to be prosecuted.
Mind you, he was one of the funnier. You see, he could have been a comedian.
He was quite witty.
He was very witty and very quick. There was one Lady Astor. Who called him in the House of Lords.
You're drunk.
Said, "You, sir, are drunk." And he came back with, "And you, madam, are ugly. But in the morning, I shall be sober."
Was that actually Winston Churchill, or was that erroneously...
No, that was definitely Winston Churchill. It could have been Noel Coward. It was classy.
Yeah.
Absolutely
he definitely
classy.
was a witty fellow.
Lady Astor. And the thing is, it was accurate as well.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
He was drunk and she was a bit of a moose.
Lady Astor. I bet she was bothered as being a member of the Astor family.
Yes, because they all think they're debutantes and beautiful.
I don't think they do.
They're led to believe.
I think the aristocracy in England has a reputation of being particularly unattractive.
Well, we're going to talk about that today.
What, unattractiveness of the aristocracy?
The aristocracy, anyway.
Oh. Where? In England?
In England.
What, are you trying to win friends and influence people?
No, because what we're going to talk about today is completely and utterly untrue.
Well, most of what comes out of your mouth is untrue.
I should be a politician.
You could be. I don't know whether you'd be a successful politician.
Well, of course I could. I would be fantastically successful because I cannot tell the truth. Even under oath, I would still be umming and ahhing.
Umming and ahhing.
Anyway, it's not all lies as such, but it is mythic and fablic.
What? Mythic and the fablic?
Mythic and fablic.
Are they fablic? Is that a word?
Myths and fables.
Is that an adjective? Fablic?
Well, it is now, because I made it.
God. Myths and fables of the aristocracy. Is that what we're talking about?
Myths and fables. We're talking about one particular myth and fable. But
can it be both?
Fablic, I think we're going to keep in the new Oxford Dictionary next year.
Go for it.
And it should go along with, do you remember my other one?
No, what was that?
Malaxing.
Malaxing. I can't remember what that means, though.
Masturbating and relaxing.
Malaxing. For God's sake.
Fucking great words.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, what we're going to talk about today is King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table.
King Arthur, the sword puller.
The sword in the stone, yes.
Yeah.
But we're going to concentrate not so much on King Arthur because everyone knows the story. We're going to talk about the knights
Lancelot.
that made up his round table.
Lancelot.
How many can you name?
12.
How many can you name?
Oh, a name? 1. Lancelot.
Exactly. And I think that's the case with 99% of the population. So I thought we'd talk about the rest of them as well and their roles in the round table and the search for the Holy Grail.
So were these people, that wasn't like Parliament in those days. I mean, they were just 10 knights.
There was no Parliament.
Exactly.
There was the king.
Yeah.
And
who were these 10 knights? What were they there for?
They were there to bring law and order to the land and carry out deeds of greatness and goodness across the country.
All right.
That was the whole idea of the round table.
All right.
It was to hold them up as an example of knightly goodliness for people to follow.
All right. So to set examples to the general folk, the gentle folk of England.
Yes, the starving, poor population that is pretty much the same as it is today. So King Arthur himself is arguably the most famous figure in British legend. Him and Robin Hood. What? Come on, give me someone more famous in British legend.
1066. Harold.
He was a historical figure. That's not a legend.
What?
King Harold in 1066 was King Harold. King Arthur was never really King Arthur.
What?
Do you believe that King Arthur was a real person?
Really? This is, who was that Sarah Palin thing that people were alive at the same time as time? Sorry, King Arthur and the Round Table never existed?
No, it's a myth. It's a legend. It's a fablic story.
Oh, I thought, I mean, pulling these sword out of the stone, all that stuff, I thought was myth. But I thought he did exist, King Arthur.
Well, stories of the fabled ruler of the kingdom of Logres have circulated for centuries and been adapted into numerous formats, novels, films, TV shows, and games even.
Yes.
His search for the Holy Grail and his wielding of the mythical sword, Excalibur, are all very well chronicled.
Yeah.
And by his side all the time were the Knights of the Round Table.
Oh, you're right. No. Oh, how disappointing.
How old are you? You're today years old when you realise that King Arthur never really existed.
Well, I'm. Do you think I'm part of 99% of people who realise it's a myth, or 99% of people that thought he was real?
99% of people today think it's a Disney film.
All right, so they think it's a myth.
They don't even think that it exists probably outside of Disney. They probably think it's a Disney story from start to finish.
All right. I don't think they ever made a film about a Disney
The Sword
movie
in the Stone.
Oh, that is a Disney movie, is it?
Yeah. And from our era, in fact, we were kids when that came out. There was no other studio doing those animations in those days.
All right.
Well, according to oral legends, King Arthur and his knights probably originated in Wales or northern Britain during the first millennium BC, so in the first 1,000 years.
BC?
CE, sorry. They changed these fucking things.
What's CE stand for?
Oh. Current.
What's wrong with AD?
I don't know. Apparently, we're not woke enough with AD.
What's woke got to do with
everything?
That?
They're still trying to change the language on me. So, the first millennium after Brian, the Round Table first appeared in a book of poems by, it was by a guy called Norman Poet Wace. I wonder if he became a poet because his name was Poet, or if they called it
him
poems
Yeah.
after him.
Yeah, as opposed to John Plummer Plunder.
Well, there was also Bob Cooper, the barrel maker,
Yeah.
which is coopering.
Yes.
But anyway, we digress. So the book was called Roman de Brut, which translates to... Well, I don't know. I was asking you.
Oh, what, a novel, a novel of the warriors?
Nonsense. It's Roman is novel.
Yeah.
But de Brut
is warrior.
Oh, look, you've got a cat's bum coming your way.
Yeah, wonderful.
Anyway.
Make sure it doesn't press any buttons. I don't want to have to repeat all this.
Oh, shit, yeah. Come off the keyboard, you. There we go. There's a good boy. Oh, he's getting back up again. Can you bugger off? Come on. You're not in the best position. Right, the table where the knights met was round, specifically so that none of them was more important than the other.
Yep. Egalite.
From his castle, Camelot, which also, believe it or not, never existed.
Yeah, you're right, actually. When you say Camelot, I start to think, oh, maybe it didn't actually exist.
Yeah, because you've never been on a tour of Camelot, have you?
So does Lady Guinevere doesn't exist either?
Oh, she was real.
Oh, dear.
So King Arthur and his chivalric order of knights kept the peace of the kingdom, and various legends placed the number of seats at the round table from anywhere between 12 to 150, with one narrative even claiming there were some 1,600 potential knights.
That was a big old table.
And we're going to talk about every last one of them.
Yeah.
So strap in. These legends range from the early medieval poems to Geoffrey of Monmouth's quite popular Historia Regum Britanniae and Thomas Mallory's 15th century La Mort d'Arthur, the death of Arthur.
So hang on a second. So that means that people have been writing about this from the 15th century?
Yes, from a legend that originated in Wales.
With this poet fellow. And eventually transferred itself all over Europe, and the books that I'm looking at are mostly written in French. Well, what the froggy's got to do with anything?
They obviously like a good story.
Clearly.
But maybe they were more advanced in the old printing press in the early days.
What other historical figures might I think actually existed, but in fact are works of fiction?
The Prime Minister of Great Britain.
He definitely exists. Is it he?
He's also a work of fiction. Now, while these tales followed the knights' heroics, they also told of the internal struggles. Perhaps the most famous of the knights, Sir Lancelot, had an affair with King Arthur's wife, Queen Guinevere. Another knight, Sir Mordred, took advantage of this to pit his companions against each other, which eventually brought about the downfall of the Knights of the Round Table.
So all of these are basically just different versions of people's interpretations or add-ons or dramatizations of the same basic story.
The thing is, it was a fairly major part of our upbringing, because King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table is something that everybody knew about.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Winnie the Pooh or SpongeBob today.
Yeah, but I didn't put them in the same category as SpongeBob and Winnie the Pooh.
No, nor I. But
hang on a second. What did you actually think that King Arthur might have existed at some stage?
No, I knew it was a legend. I understood the word legend.
Right. Yeah.
Clearly, they don't do legends in boarding school while you're fagging for Brown Major.
It's a bit of a giveaway when it's actually known as the legend of King Arthur and the Round Table and the Knights of the Round Table. But obviously I forgot the legend bit.
But I mean, it's a great legend. And it's a story that basically is a metaphor for hope and goodness and stuff. It's a good legend.
Unless you were Lancelot lancing Guinevere.
Well, I would say that he was doing all right for himself because she was supposed to be a bit of a
name,
totty.
Lancelot?
I mean, today it would definitely be the reason.
Well, I mean, that can't be a myth. It's already a
Sir
myth.
Pork-a-lot.
No, what's that? Seaman Stains and Master Bates
Yes.
and things like Pugwash.
Yes. Yeah, but that Captain Pugwash is a lie. You know,
Yeah,
they weren't
exactly.
called.
That's what I mean.
They weren't called.
They weren't actually
Seaman
called
Stains and Master Bates. But most people think they were, simply because that got traction. That myth.
Well, were there
legend.
even characters called Master something?
Yes.
Master
Bates, I want to say.
No,
I don't know. Captain Pugwash was so long ago.
it was probably Master Stains and Seaman Bates.
Yeah, maybe. So anyway, Sir Lancelot was Arthur's most trusted companion and loyal friend.
Well,
Not.
mistakenly, yeah, exactly.
But the closeness of their relationship is what made Lancelot's ultimate betrayal all the more painful.
What? He was Judas, was he?
More or less. Another legend. He was one of the knights first mentioned in French. Chrétien de Troyes, Erech and Enid in the 12th century. That's how long ago we're talking.
No wonder I don't understand it.
Although this story only made brief mention of Lancelot as a knight of Arthur's court, the book would later expand on his history in Lancelot, or the Knight of the Cart.
The thing is that why did people write books in the 12th century where there was no printing press? Why would you invent a fictional story? What would you do with the story? So you've written it by hand in your book.
Where would you get your genuine stories from in the 12th century to write about?
Well, to write, that's what I'm questioning. Where did they even get the original stories from? It was
word of mouth. Word of mouth. But, I mean, at least with word of mouth, they're talking about it. So a lot of people know about it, which means you've got more opportunity to sell a book.
Yeah, but firstly, people couldn't read in those days, or not many of them could read.
Well, the books were handmade, so they were very, very expensive. So
Yeah.
Books were generally written for the king or the royal family or the aristocracy or the church.
But I can understand the Bible because you've got the bloody Catholic Church pumping money into the publication of the Bible. But how would a writer produce books that other? I mean, I'm not. This isn't criticism. It's a genuine inquiry.
Yeah. And why was he not more concerned with the redistribution of the king's wealth?
We don't need to go there, but it's a valid point. No, but do you see what I mean? He couldn't have been a professional author because books didn't exist in the same way they do today.
Well, I'm not going to fucking argue about his title. He was probably a fucking corn plucker who wrote in his spare time. I don't know.
I think you might be right. I think maybe it was literally the king or the royalty or the aristocracy who commissioned books to be written in the
it's
same
not the
way
sort
they
of thing you would
paintings.
It's not the sort of thing that you would write and hope to sell later, because the paper alone would have cost more than you earned in your lifetime.
Yeah. Anyway, so Lancelot appears in the 12th century as the close confidant of King Harry.
King Arthur. He was the son of King Ban of Benwick. Lancelot was raised by the Lady of the Lake after his father's death, hence the name Dulac. Lancelot Dulac. Mm-hmm. So Lancelot was said to be capable of defeating any opponent in single combat. He was hard as fucking nails.
Good man.
As an adherent to the code of chivalry, Lancelot was particularly devoted to Queen Guinevere. Yeah, right. Chivalry being the reason, dirty little hornbag. King Arthur's wife. His devotion to Guinevere reached far beyond his knightly duties, however, and the two entered into a secret affair that left Lancelot internally tormented, but he wasn't going to stop tapping that. Torn between his personal desire and loyalty to his king and best friend, and despite his moral struggle, Lancelot was incapable of stopping or abandoning his love for Guinevere, a love that inspired many of his greatest adventures. Throughout the Arthurian legends, Lancelot rescued Guinevere from various captors. She was pretty careless. Apparently she got captured a lot. Undertook seemingly impossible tasks and defeated countless foes. But when it came time to seek out the Holy Grail, Lancelot could not achieve that particular goal. His affair with the Queen had left him spiritually impure, and so the greatest task undertaken by the Knights of the Round Table fell to others who were pure of heart, including Lancelot's son, Galahad, who was conceived during a brief encounter with Lady Elaine of Corbinic. And when Lancelot's affair with Guinevere was ultimately discovered, it shattered the once unified Knights of the Round Table. Arthur, upon learning of the affair, and bound by the laws of chivalry, felt compelled to punish Guinevere with death.
What?
Quite rightly. He
Lady
even made
Guinevere
a TikTok about it.
Did she?
In some versions of the tale, he dreamed of killing her with his sword, but in others, he was less eager to see her die. Regardless, by his command, she was to be executed. Lancelot, ever loyal, sought to intervene, and as he attempted to rescue Guinevere, Sir Gareth and Sir Gaheris tried to stop him. Lancelot accidentally killed his fellow knights in the confrontation, earning him the eternal hatred of their brother Sir Gawain. And this led to a civil war. Arthur's death at the Battle of Camlan and the ultimate...
The battle.
I said the battle.
You said bottle.
All right, well, he might have lost his bowl.
He probably did lose his bottle.
So his death at the Battle of Camlan and the ultimate collapse of Camelot. In the final years, Lancelot became a hermit, spending his remaining days in penance and prayer.
Good man. Not.
So his son, Sir Galahad.
Galahad. So he wasn't a knight of the Round Table. He was the son
of course he was.
The knight of the Round Table.
He was also a knight of the Round Table. It's possible
when he was
to be
5?
both. No, he was 6. And he had his own Shetland pony, so what's to stop him?
Shetland pony.
He was born from the union of Sir Lancelot and Lady Elaine. Galahad's conception was said to have been divine intervention. It wasn't me what done it, said Lancelot. But we know it was. But there was a bit of deception at play as well. Elaine's father, King Pelles, had seen a vision of the son his daughter would give birth to, and it would be the knight who was destined to find the Holy Grail.
Did he?
You'll have to wait and see. Seeking to bring Galahad's fate about, Pelles scoured the land for an enchantress who could make Elaine appear to Lancelot disguised as Queen Guinevere. She did so,
really?
Tricking Lancelot into sleeping with her.
Magic mushroom time, possibly.
Yes.
I am Guinevere.
She obviously didn't understand men. If she'd have just walked up to him and said, "Do you want a bit of this?" he would have gone, "All right then."
Understand you is more to the point.
He would have been wagging his little metal tail backwards and forwards. So despite this trickery and Lancelot's own impurity, Galahad was born pure of heart and spirit and remained so throughout his life. So he was a virgin.
What?
Basically. pure
Sir
of heart and
Galahad?
spirit, Sir Galahad. He was a fucking virgin. Today, he would be a cellar dweller in Mummy's little bungalow.
Is that what they have? Is that what they call them? Cellar dwellers? Or have you just made that up?
That just came out of my gob.
Oh, dear.
Galahad was not in the original Arthurian legends. Initially, it was Sir Percival who embarked on a quest for the Holy Grail. And then, around about the 13th century, the story was changed so that the champion of the Grail required ancestry dating back to the House of David in the Old Testament. As such, Galahad was created as the son of Lancelot, first appearing in the Quest del Saint Graal, part of an old French prose version of Arthurian legend known as the Vulgate cycle.
Here's a quick question for you. Why is it the French were so keen on this story? Why is it most of the books are written in French?
I think they romanticised the whole medieval knight thing a lot more than the people who lived under it, probably.
Maybe. Why didn't they have the same in France?
They had a feudal system in France as well, but...
Yeah, but the knights act.
I don't think the knights had the same clout as... I mean, we invented chivalry and the... the whole knight thing. That's definitely an English invention. It's like the royal family. There's many countries that have a royal family, but everyone knows who the Queen is.
Well, she's gone now, so they don't.
You can still say the Queen.
We still have Queen Camilla.
You can still say the Queen, and people will immediately tell you it's Queen Elizabeth II.
You're right.
Doesn't matter what
I agree with
country.
that. Sadly for Camilla.
Yeah, but she's not the Queen. I mean, they changed the laws of queenhood just to make her the Queen.
Well, actually, it was Charles who did it.
Yeah. Well, Charles, it's still them.
Not us. We didn't do it.
The general royalist wouldn't accept her as Queen, to be honest, because it goes against everything that royalists believe in. Anyway, unlike his father, Galahad maintained absolute chastity, virgin, and spiritual purity. He was described as the good knight or the perfect knight, whereas today you would call him an incel.
Yeah.
Possessing not only unmatched martial prowess, but also unwavering moral virtue. His strength came not just from physical training, but from divine favour, making him invincible in battle while remaining humble and selfless. Galahad's arrival at Camelot was preceded by divine supernatural signs. He alone could sit in the Siege Perilous, the seat at the round table reserved for the worthiest knight. So although no one was more equal than anyone else, they had the seat that was reserved for the most worthy of the worthy knights. So it's a little bit Animal Farm there.
Than others.
Yeah. He also had a sword. He also had drawn a sword from a stone that no other knight could move.
What?
Get this?
That's the Galahad, not Arthur.
Yes. Bear in mind, how did Arthur get Excalibur?
I thought he took it out of the stone.
Who put it in the stone?
I don't know. God.
We'll get there. It was clear that Galahad was no mere knight. His resemblance to Lancelot also didn't go unnoticed, especially by the Queen, who is now turning into a little bit of a slutty-wutty.
What are you talking about? Of course he looked like Lancelot. He was the son of Lancelot.
Yes. When she first heard of the resemblance, she thought it must be Galahad, whom Lancelot had begotten with the daughter of the rich Fisher King, in accordance with the story she had often been told of how he had been deceived, and that was why she was so angry with Lancelot, as if the fault had been his.
She heard the story that someone had impersonated her to get impregnated by the Mr. Lancelot.
Yes, which is, again, why he's probably called Lancelot. He lanced them here, he lanced them there. That damned knight lanced them everywhere. The The quest for the Holy Grail became Galahad's defining adventure. The personal failings of the other knights of the Round Table had prevented their success in the journey, but Galahad's purity allowed him to bear witness to the Grail's mysteries in full. Accompanied by Sir Percival and Sir Bors, Galahad ventured to the castle of Corbenic, where he achieved the ultimate spiritual vision. With his quest complete, Galahad experienced divine rapture and chose to die in perfect grace rather than return to the imperfect earthly realm.
Did he find the Holy Grail?
He did.
In this church in Scotland? Did you mention a church?
Corbenic in Scotland?
I don't know. Where is Corbenic?
I don't know. You can Google it. With his quest complete, as I say, he chose to leave the earthly realm and die in perfect grace. So his soul was taken directly to heaven, bringing an end to the Holy Grail's earthly presence, and marking the start of Camelot's spiritual decline.
Oh dear. Is that where Dan Brown took over the story?
Yes. So we move on to Sir Gawain, who was the tale of the Green Knight.
Green Sir Gawain, as in environmentally conscious, friendly?
Yes, he was very eco-friendly.
Good.
Sir Gawain was vegan. Fucker, he was. No doubt. He was
vegan?
Yeah, definitely. You've got your cellar dweller. Now we've got the vegan. It won't be long before there's a trans knight.
God.
I wonder if trans knight would call themselves a day.
I don't get the joke.
Night and day.
God.
How could you not get that?
So I'm a bit slow.
So Sir Gawain was the nephew of King Arthur and one of the earliest knights to join the Round Table, and he was, in many ways, a sort of chivalric foil to Galahad, representing the more earthly and passionate aspects of the knightly code.
He was a rugger bugger.
He was a boy. Gawain was the son of King Lot of Orkney and Arthur's sister, Morgause.
What? Little Orkney Island had its own king?
Yes. In those days, every acre had a king.
I was going to say.
He possessed a supernatural gift, which made him formidable in battle. Ooh. And his strength, though, waxed with the sun, reaching its peak at noon before gradually declining toward evening. These days, we call that alcoholic.
I was going to say.
The solar
was his
connection,
supernatural power?
He got stronger as the sun rose and weaker as the sun rose.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. The solar connection gave Gawain an almost mythic quality, linking him to ancient Celtic sun gods and setting him apart from ordinary knights. So basically, if you wanted to fight him, get him out of bed at midnight. Then you kick the shit out of him with no issues whatsoever.
Or any time in the winter.
Yeah. His character evolved significantly throughout different medieval texts. In earlier Welsh and French romances, for instance, he appeared as Arthur's greatest champion, courteous and heroic. However, in later English works, particularly Sir Thomas Malory's Death of Arthur, he was portrayed as an increasingly hot-tempered and vengeful person, representing the decline of chivalric ideals. He's perhaps most famous for his role in the 14th century poem Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, in which a mysterious Green Knight invited him to participate in a beheading game. You know the game.
Well, it's like Russian roulette, but you've got to cut your own head off.
Yeah, you get one swing of the axe. I'll go first. This tale in particular revealed the limits of Gawain's courage as he tried to trick the knight to protect his own life. And it showed that even noble knights succumb to fear and self-preservation in the end. Well, so would I. If someone wants to chop me head off in a beheading game and they get to go first, I'm going to try and trick them as well. His relationship with his brothers, Gaheris, Gareth, and Agravain, was also a central element to this legend. When Lancelot accidentally slew Gaheris and Gareth while rescuing Guinevere, it broke Gawain. Their deaths became a point of obsession for the once noble knight, and his loyalty to Arthur was gradually replaced by an implacable hatred for Lancelot. Gawain's pursuit of Lancelot culminated in the final catastrophe at the Battle of Camlan. His refusal to accept reconciliation forced Arthur to continue the civil war, leaving the kingdom vulnerable to the treachery of Sir Mordred. The resulting battle with Lancelot left Gawain mortally wounded. So I'm guessing it took place early afternoon.
You know what all this reminds me of? Mm-hmm. And it's quite incredible that we're dating back to the 12th century. It reminds me of Marvel Comics. You know, the various superheroes in Marvel Comics.
Yeah, all their own story.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, everybody, as I say, knows of King Arthur and Lancelot, but the rest of the players have their own backstories, which are just as interesting, but nobody's really aware of them. That's why I thought I'd talk about it today.
So we've done Gawain, we've done Galad.
We're not finished. On his deathbed, he finally accepted reconciliation, writing to his former friend and acknowledging his own role in the downfall of the Knights of the Round Table.
So he could write?
Yes, because he was a bloody aristocrat. So Sir Percival, also spelled...
Oh, yes, the other one who found the Grail.
Also spelled Parsifal, for some reason, was unique in that his story and characterization changed greatly over the centuries. Originally, he was the one to find the Grail. However, that role was later usurped by Galahad, upending Percival's status as the most worthy divine knight of the Round Table. In most versions,
his special gift.
We'll get to that.
X-ray eyes.
Enormous penis.
God. You have this Rasputin.
Oh, Rasputin.
Addiction.
We should revisit Rasputin one day. We could get another 4 episodes out of him, I'm sure.
That was 4 episodes.
In most versions, he was raised in isolation by his mother in the Welsh wilderness and deliberately kept ignorant of the knightly culture after his father died in battle. Mm-hmm. This sheltered upbringing created a pure but naive young man who, upon first encountering Arthur's knights, immediately knew his destiny lay with them. And despite his mother's attempts to dissuade him, he set off for the court of Camelot. At Camelot, it became clear that Percival was socially awkward. Well, his name is Percy, after all.
Yeah. They don't call people Percy anymore, do they?
No.
I baptised this child Percy.
Yeah, because...
It doesn't happen.
You know, I think a lot of it's got to do with I'm just off to Point Percy at the porcelain.
Could be. I worked with a guy called Percy. I mean, I was in my 20s and he was in his 60s. But I
bet you giggled when you met him.
Oh, well, I didn't know. No.
Yeah, you did. It must have gone through your head. What a name.
No, he was the quality control man.
Imagine being called Percy.
That would be a good... I think I'd like to know how many children have been called Percy this year.
Probably 0.
Going to check it out. Google. Go for it.
And then see how many are being called Andy. Okay. At Camelot, it became clear that he was socially awkward and also inept in terms of combat. In time, though, his natural nobility became apparent, as did his divine favour. Through a series of often comedic encounters, Percival learned the arts of warfare from various mentors, including the Fisher King's court, where he first saw the Holy Grail. The young knight's failure to ask the crucial question about the artifact after seeing it for the first time, and the crucial question is, whom does the Grail serve, became central to his character development. The missed opportunity taught him that spiritual achievement required more than purity. It required compassion and wisdom as well. His quest for the Grail, in contrast to Galahad's, was a journey of spiritual maturation. I had to be very careful there. Galahad was perfect, destined to one day find the Grail. Percival, on the other hand, faced temptations, made mistakes, and gradually learned to balance worldly knighthood with spiritual aspirations. In later tellings of the story, he still accompanied Galahad and Bors as one of the 3 knights to achieve the Grail vision. And this version of events had him playing a supportive role for Galahad as a spiritual companion, a representation of the possibility of redemption for flawed humanity.
I have an answer.
You do?
2017.
Really?
No, 2017. I've actually got a number of kids in the UK, obviously this is. So what number in the ranking do you think where Percy came?
You've got to give me a little bit more narrow field than that. It goes from 1 to...
Let me tell you, it went into the top 1,000.
Well, I would say 789.
No, it was 439. Place 439 with 96 people being called Percy in 2017.
That's madness.
So it's resurging.
They all lived in Middle England.
Well, I think it's a revival in the 21st century. It's becoming more and more popular.
Okay, well,
it is more common in the south of England. Percy came from Wales, didn't he, Percival?
Parsifal, yes. He was Welsh. But we're going to move on to Sir Tristram.
Hang on, what? Who? Sir Tristan?
Sir Tristan. And he originated independently before he was incorporated into the Tales of the Knights of the Round Table. His earliest stories go back to around the 12th century in France and Britain, with his role in Arthurian legend being solidified in the death of Arthur. Born as Tristan of Lyonesse, fucking frog.
Middle France, been there plenty of times, Lyon.
His story began on a sorrowful note, represented by his very name, because the French word triste means sad.
Oh. Tristan is a forename. What do you call that in English? A name.
A first name.
A first name. It's not a surname, though, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, all of them are
neither
first
is
names,
Galahad or
exactly,
or
right.
Lancelot.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Lancelot de Luc was his name.
Ah, that's right. What's Tristan's surname then?
Fuck knows.
Well, you don't even have his surname. What research is this, for Christ's sake?
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? It's very, very poor. I'm educating you and also bursting your bubble about King Arthur.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to be depressed for the rest of the day now.
Well, you can be called Tristan then. He was called Tristan because his mother died giving birth to him, after which he was orphaned completely and placed in the care of his uncle. And you're going to like this, King Mark of Cornwall.
Ah, excellent.
Under his uncle's tutelage, Tristan grew into a knight of extraordinary talent.
Thank you.
He was not only a formidable warrior, but also a gifted musician. Now, I'd like to hear him play, because they only had the lute.
No?
Well, what other instruments would they play in the 12th century?
Sorry, is the lute the one with strings, or is that the one you blow?
That's the lute with the strings.
Yeah, but they had things you blow, penny
the
whistles.
The whistle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fuck me. It didn't take much to be a maestro in those days.
Come on, they must have had drums.
Yeah, but they didn't have the rhythms worked out yet. The drum was just basically bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang.
Well, what is it today?
Lots of bangs. All interlaced.
So anyway, he was a bit of a musician. He was a bit of a warrior.
And a poet.
And a poet, no
bit gay.
less.
And a healer. So
What's poet got to do with gay?
a, rena- a Renaissance man,
The way your brain
centuries
works, it's like from 1950.
a Renaissance man centuries before his time. When the Irish champion Morholt arrived in Cornwall and demanded tribute, Tristan volunteered himself for battle. And although victorious, Tristan was wounded by Morholt's poisoned sword and could only be healed in Ireland, the land of his enemy. And there he was cured by Morholt's own niece, the Princess Isolde.
Oh, I would like to hear about Princess Isolde and her healing hands.
Well, you're going to. When Tristan was later sent to Ireland to escort Isolde to Cornwall for her arranged marriage to King Mark, he and Isolde accidentally consumed a love potion intended for the wedding night. Accidentally? It's like, I've got an E here, do you want to half it?
So this is Tristan, son of Mark. Tristan is Mark's son.
Yes.
And why is he escorting?
He's escorting his father's bride.
Well, what happened to Tristan's mum?
She died in childbirth.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Sorry, you did say that.
Keep up.
So the son accidentally slips the prospective bride one.
It was a bit of a MILF situation, obviously. It was like, oh, she's a bit of all right. I'll just Mickey Finn her drink.
Well, maybe they were the same age. You don't know. Maybe
they probably were.
Mark
She was 12 and a half and he was 22. So that would have been perfect matching in those days. So this magical draft bound them in an irresistible and eternal love. And the resulting affair echoed the complex relationship faced by Lancelot and Guinevere. Tristan owed allegiance to Mark, because dad, but he could not resist his love for Isolde.
What was her name? Isolde?
Isolde. Isolde.
Isolde. I don't know that one.
The lovers would meet secretly at times, while enforcing periods of separation at others. Unlike Lancelot's guilt over his affair with Guinevere, however, Tristan's love was often portrayed as beyond moral judgment and inspired countless poems, songs and artistic works throughout medieval Europe.
What you mean, so Isolde actually married King Mark?
Yes, but she still loved Tristan.
The son?
Mm.
That's a bit of an awkward family Sunday
They were
lunch.
all at it in those days. Guinevere was a hoe. Isolde is a hoe.
Why are you describing all the women as hoes rather than the men who were?
Because the men were chaste and good and spiritual and honorific.
Who were lured by these
who were tricked by sorcerers and witches. Much like today.
You belong in the 1500s, Andy.
Tristan's death varied from telling to telling, but most versions concluded with a tragic isolation and separation from Isolde and a final reunion only in the afterlife.
Oh, no.
So that was
afterlife.
The love that never died, but died. Oh,
well, you've done quite well. You've done half a dozen nights.
And we're only 1 hour and 8 minutes in. But we're gonna.
So you got. What did you say? You got 1,600 to get through.
Yeah, but we're gonna tough it out. It'll be an extra long episode. We started early enough. We can overrun this week. I don't want to make it a two-parter for two reasons. One, you might not turn up next week.
Good.
And two, I've got so much other stuff to get through. So anyway, Sir Gareth was the youngest of the Orkney brothers and nephew to King Arthur. And this tragic figure's death at the hands of Sir Lancelot marked the beginning of the end of the Knights of the Round Table.
Hang on. So, tragic death of Lancelot. Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, carry on.
Unlike his hot-tempered brother Gawain or the villainous Agravain, Gareth possessed a gentle and honourable nature that made him beloved throughout Arthur's court. And his arrival at Camelot demonstrated his character perfectly. Rather than taking advantage of his royal lineage, he chose to work anonymously in the kitchens for a year, proving his worthiness through humble service rather than demanding recognition based on birth.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. Did he take advantage of any of the kitchen wenches?
The wenches would have all been left with a belly full of
Gwaine.
spaff.
Oh, what's his name? Gareth.
Gareth.
I'll tell you what, Orkney has a rather disproportionate number of representatives in this round table.
They were probably a bit hardier than your average London knight who grew up going to clubs and bars and just
Did they have
basically
clubs
wenching.
in those days?
I'm sure they did. Definitely men's clubs. I don't think women were allowed. In days of
I was
old,
a member of a club where women weren't allowed.
in days of old, when knights were bold and women weren't invented, they'd drill a hole in a telegraph pole and fuck there quite contented.
Where was that from school, do you think? That little
Somewhere,
rhyme.
I don't know. Anyway, his defining adventure, Gareth's, began when a mysterious maiden named Lynette, maiden my arse, arrived seeking a champion to rescue her sister, Lyonesse, from the Red Knight of the Red Lands.
Oh dear. Chinese.
Despite, I was thinking communists, but who knows?
I'll tell you what, just as a complete aside, it will take 10 seconds. The military parade that the Chinese did, talk about a kick in the teeth for Trump. Did you see that? That really was a military parade.
No.
You didn't see any pictures of it?
No.
You had hundreds of, actually, there was a whole platoon, or not a platoon, a regiment of female Chinese soldiers who were marching in perfect harmony. It was that they had a drone shot and they were in perfect lines, marching perfectly with all of these weaponry. And I was thinking back to that absurd military parade with Trump where the troops were chewing gum and just sort of wandering along the street. I'll tell you what, that was impressive. Absolutely. Sorry to distract you. What got me onto that? The red.
The Red Knight from the Red
Knight.
Lands. Well, despite Lynette's initial scorn for the unknown kitchen boy, Gareth undertook the quest with the permission of Sir Kay, King Arthur's foster brother. And the rescue of Lyonesse showcased all of Gareth's virtues: courage in facing seemingly impossible odds, courtesy towards his enemies, and mercy in victory. The story culminated with his confrontation of the Red Knight, whose real identity was Sir Ironside.
Ironside?
Yeah, I've seen all his films.
I'll give you the tune in a second. Da-da-da-da-da. No, hang on, I've got to get it.
No,
a man called Ironside.
Doesn't matter. It's not the same guy.
No, it could have been.
Despite possessing the strength of 7 men, Ironside was bested by Gareth, but not slain. Instead, Gareth returned to Arthur's court with Sir Ironside, who eventually joined the Knights of the Round Table as well.
Oh, really? Well done, Gareth. Turn an enemy into a friend.
But then Gareth faced another trial. His love for Lyonesse.
Oh, dear.
At first, his lust drove him to attempt to consummate their relationship before marriage. But a miraculous intervention of Lynette prevented this. Damn it. Cock-blocked. Preserving Gareth's purity. Gareth was also only one of only 2 knights to be executed after learning of her affair with Lancelot. Gareth showed up.
Sorry, what? Who learnt of her affair? What?
Sorry, I've jumped. I'm going to start that whole sentence again. Gareth was also one of only 2 knights to ever successfully hold against Lancelot in a duel, the other being Sir Tristan. And this earned him Lancelot's respect and even led to Lancelot knighting Gareth. Of course, this made the ultimate fate all the more tragic. When Arthur ordered Guinevere to be executed after learning of her affair with Lancelot, Gareth showed up to her prison unarmed in protest, but Lancelot arrived in fury, striking down Gareth and Gaheris in his rage-induced madness. And despite a sincere apology and Lancelot's genuine mourning of their deaths, Gareth's brother Gawain remained insistent that Arthur go to war with Lancelot. And that's when the Round Table shattered. Sir Mordred sought to take King Arthur's throne for himself.
It reminds me more and more of a Marvel comic. The various characters, their strengths and weaknesses. It's good stuff.
It is. I knew it would be a good episode because it is interesting and it sort of brings me back to my youth as well, which unfortunately only window wanking generally takes care of that these days.
But, it's... it would be an interesting little questionnaire survey. How many people think the legend of King Arthur is based on some sort of historical event, which it clearly isn't?
I would think it would be quite a high amount.
Yeah.
So we move on to Sir Bedivere, or Bedwyr. In the earliest Welsh stories, he was one of Arthur's oldest companions who accompanied on his journeys even before the conception of the Knights of the Round Table. And unlike some of the other knights in Arthur's service, Bedivere's devotion was personal and absolute, a deep friendship rather than a feudal obligation. He was traditionally described as Arthur's butler and a one-handed knight, having lost his right hand in battle. But this
That's
did not...
awkward.
Yeah, especially if you're right-handed. Mind you...
Did Bedivere ever bed Guinevere?
Bedivere and Guinevere in Bedivere together here. But this did not hinder Bedivere. In fact, his skill with just a single arm was said to surpass that of most knights with two. And this earned him an esteemed reputation.
Mm-hmm.
I know Bedivere, he's pretty harmless. Throughout Arthur's reign, Bedivere served as his most trusted confidant and advisor. And while other knights pursued individual quests and personal glory, Bedivere remained consistently at Arthur's side. Sounds like a shitter to me. Oh, I'd like to go on a quest, but I'm going to stay here with Arthur because I'm his confidant and it's cold and wet outside and I've only got one arm, so fuck off. Bedivere, remained consistently at Arthur's side, offering him stability and counsel during times of peace and times of crisis. He also reminded Arthur of his humble origins, ensuring that the king would not lose his way as the weight of the crown threatened to isolate him. When Arthur fell at the Battle of Camlan, few carried the weight of the loss as heavily as Bedivere. In his final moments, Arthur tasked his oldest friend with returning the king's sword, Excalibur, to the Lady of the Lake. And Bedivere initially hesitated. The thought of casting away such a magnificent weapon was giving him pause, and he lied to the king about completing the task.
What did he do? He stole it.
Well, Bedivere would eventually fulfill his duty, however, and as he tossed Excalibur into the water, he saw the hand of the Lady of the Lake emerge to catch it, making him the sole witness to one of the most mystical moments in Arthurian lore. But his service was not yet over. Mm-hmm. As his final responsibility to the king, Bedivere helped Arthur pass safely to Avalon, a place of magic where the king could recover until he could one day return when Britain was in great need.
We are in great need. Can he come back now?
In most versions of the story, Bedivere lived out the rest of his days as a hermit, the sole survivor of Camelot's golden age.
Well done, Andy. That was a good little story, actually.
Yeah, they're all good little stories. Each of these knights has a backstory that could really build their own stories.
It's a bit disappointing that it was the French that actually came up with all these stories, though.
Not necessarily. I think the Welsh origin is responsible for most of it.
All right. Because, I mean, it is such a classic English legend, isn't it?
Yes,
Or should I say, well, I should say British legend.
definitely.
Oh.
Well, Sir Kay, like Sir Bedivere...
There's more?
Yes. Sir Kay, like Sir Bedivere, was a companion to King Arthur well before he took the throne. And in most versions of the legend, including T.H. White's masterful retelling in The Once and Future King, Kay was the son of Sir Ector, a nobleman who raised Arthur in secret after Merlin spirited him away from King Uther Pendragon's court.
They have some good names here. We've had Percy and now Hector.
Ector. No H.
Not H-E-C.
No H.
Oh.
Ector.
Oh, I don't know that one.
As children, Kay and Arthur were like brothers, but both were kept in the dark about Arthur's true lineage. It was only after the death of Uther Pendragon and the subsequent war for the throne that Arthur's identity was revealed, when he famously drew the sword from the stone.
Is that a pop artist? Uther Pendragon?
Uther Pendragon was a king.
It sounds like a pop artist.
No.
All right.
Not even close.
Or a group.
Although Kay initially tried to claim he had drawn the sword, Sir Ector asked for proof. Unable to pull it out once again, Kay admitted his lie, and Arthur was declared the one true king. But Arthur didn't abandon his foster brother. He made Sir Kay his seneschal, putting him in charge. Seneschal. Seneschal. Seneschal.
Never heard of it.
It's like right-hand man.
Not a word.
Right-hand man. His aide-de-camp. His geezer. His number two. He put him in charge of the practical administration of Camelot and the Knights of the Round Table. Sir Kay managed supplies, organised feasts, maintained the castle, and handled the countless mundane tasks that kept the kingdom functioning. It was unglamorous work compared to his peers, and occasionally caused Kay to come across as petulant or jealous. In particular, medieval literature frequently portrayed Kay as boastful and quick-tempered, especially in his interactions with the younger Knights of the Round Table who were seeking to prove themselves. His harsh treatment of the innocent Percival and his mockery of Gareth before the kitchen boy proved his worth were prime examples of this particular character flaw. At the same time, they also revealed his protective instincts towards Arthur's court and his scepticism towards those who sought easy glory. It should be noted too that Sir Kay possessed genuine martial skill, and he participated in numerous adventures and battles. His achievements were unfortunately more often than not overshadowed by more celebrated knights.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Iwan was one of the most psychologically nuanced of the
names
knights.
are becoming less interesting.
But the stories are not.
Kay, that's a bit boring. Irwin, no,
Iwan,
that's boring.
Iwan, Y-W, Iwan, very Welsh. He fell into madness and subsequently climbed his way out. He was the son of madness.
Oh, climbed his way out of madness.
The son of King Urien of Gore and the sorceress Morgan Le Fay, Merlin's nemesis. In some versions of the tale, Iwan inherited both royal blood and a dangerous connection to magic. In medieval times, this magic was seen as an ever-growing threat to Christian ideals, yet Iwan's noble lineage made him an insider in Arthur's court.
Mm-hmm.
He was the hero in Iwan, the Knight of the Lion. The tale revolved around Iwan's quest to avenge his cousin, Calagrenant, who had been defeated by a knight called Escalados the Red.
What? He came from Spain?
Escalados. He was a Mexican caballero.
Exactly.
As the story went, a fountain in the forest of Bressalion was capable of magically producing storms, but it was guarded by Escalados. Ivain defeated Escalados in combat to avenge Calogrenant and subsequently, of course, fell in love with his widow, Laudine, or the Lady of the Fountain.
Not the Lady of the Lake, but the Lady of the Fountain.
Yes. Aided by Laudine's servant, Lunette, Iwain eventually won Laudine's heart, only to be whisked away on another adventure by Sir Gawain. Laudine, a bit pissed that her new husband had seemingly forgotten about her and buggered off on an adventure, had a messenger publicly denounce Iwain at Arthur's court, the shame and guilt of which drove Iwain into complete madness. I can't believe she's done this to me. I'm fucking mad, I am.
What is the best King Arthur film?
Oh, there's a few that are really good.
I'll just name one, then I'll watch it this evening.
I can't remember the name, but there's one with Ray Winston. And
Ray Winston?
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
The English actor?
It's brilliant. There's a few good Arthur films.
I'm going to look that up. Ray Winston, the English actor.
There is Excalibur, is a good one. There's probably one called Arthur, which is probably... I mean, I've never seen a bad one, actually.
Which is the one with Beckham?
Fuck.
Isn't David Beckham in?
Yes, you might be right. That would be the worst one. All right, mate. On me head. I mean, sorry, forgot me line. Okay, I'll go again.
On me head.
Action. On me head. Oh fuck! I'll do it again. Anyway, during this period of insanity, Iwain lived as a wild man in the forest, naked and savage, surviving by hunting and gathering. It was notably one of the earliest, if not the earliest, instances of a hero's mental illness in literature. Over time, Iwain began to recover, thanks in part to his mother's magic. On the road to win back his love, the woman who drove him crazy in the first place, talk about circle of life, he also rescued a lion from a dragon. I think he's still a bit nutso.
I think so as well.
On my way here, I rescued a lion from a dragon, but I'm okay now. Okay. And the lion, as lions do, continued to accompany Iwain throughout the rest of his adventures. He eventually found Laudine in need of rescue from a giant and two demons. And after he defeated her captors, she allowed him and the lion to return to her fortress, where they lived happily ever after. Now that's a film in itself. The Madness of Sir Owain.
Oh, I've got what's that thing you said? Excalibur.
Excalibur. Now, there were two men named Bors who featured prominently in Arthurian legend. King Bors, who was the brother of King Ban, and Lancelot's uncle, and also Sir Bors the Younger, the king's son and the Knight of the Round Table. Bors the Younger was regularly portrayed as one of Arthur's finest, and he was the only knight other than Galahad and Percival to succeed in the Grail quest. Bors, in contrast to some of the other knights of the Round Table, was almost always portrayed as morally pure. In one story, for instance, a woman threatened suicide if he refused to sleep with her, but she was such a munter, he upheld his vow of celibacy, and the woman was revealed to be a demon temptress in disguise. Just sounds like a woman to me, honestly.
Yep, again, back to the 1950s.
Another story saw Bors faced with the dilemma of saving his brother Lionel. or rescuing an innocent woman who had been captured by a rogue knight. Bors chose to save the woman, whilst praying for his brother's safety.
Mm-hmm.
Lionel managed to escape, but his anger at his brother caused him to challenge Bors to a duel. Bors did not even raise his weapon.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, Calogrenant arrived with a hermit to convince Lionel to lay down his weapon. Instead, Lionel killed both men and prepared to attack Bors as well. But in an act of divine intervention, God struck him down in a column of fire. Bit harsh.
Is that it?
Well, Bors then went on to find the Holy Grail, of course.
What do you mean? Hang on a second. How many bloody Holy Grails are there?
3 knights were there.
Percival,
Lancelot,
Bors,
and a couple of other, probably. I mean, it depends on which story you're reading.
Who found it in the Monty Python movie?
I'm not sure they did they? The search for the Holy Grail. I'm not sure they actually found. They might
Didn't
have.
they?
It's a long time since I saw it. In the death of Arthur, Sir Bors also became one of Lancelot's most loyal aides in the Civil War. And this version of the tale ultimately ends with Arthur dying and Bors sending his army home, living out the rest of his days as a priest.
Good man.
In the post-Vulgate Mort d'Arthur, however, the events are played out differently.
What the hell was that? In the what? Part 2?
Mort d'Arthur. Morte d'Arthur. Death of Arthur.
Second death.
But it's spelt differently. But after Arthur was betrayed by Mordred, the knights Lancelot, Lionel, still alive at this time in this tale, and Sir Bors gathered their men to fight against the forces of Mordred's sons, who had taken over the kingdom after their father's death. They were ultimately successful, restoring some sense of peace to the kingdom.
Was there a wizard in this Arthur story?
Well, Merlin was the wizard.
Merlin, exactly. What happened to Merlin?
He wasn't a knight of the Round Table. We're not covering him.
Yeah, but he would be an interest. What happened to him? Tell me a bit about Merlin.
Fuck off.
I want to hear about Merlin.
No, we're going to talk about Sir Mordred. Much more interesting.
Why? What happened to Mordred?
Well, from the beginning, he was destined for a tragic, destructive fate.
Oh, dear.
In some versions of the legend, he was Arthur's son and nephew, born from the king's accidental incest, accidental mind, with his half-sister Morgause. He was, in many ways, the sins of Arthur's past reborn to destroy the present.
Oh, dear.
King Arthur had allegedly been unaware of Morgause's true identity during that encounter. I find that kind of difficult to believe, that the girl who's been living in your house since she was born is someone other than your sister.
Yep. It was a big house, though.
But when he begat a child with her, he unwittingly fulfilled a prophecy that would bring about his downfall.
Oh,
and in fact, I mean, incest in royal families has been going on for centuries. And it's still prevalent
That's a bit
today.
of a wild generalisation, isn't it?
No, not at all. Inbreeding has always been rife in royal families, mostly to keep the royal family within the royal family. That's why they always sent messengers off to foreign countries to try and get someone outside their own bloodline once in a while to strengthen the strain.
That's why they're generally regarded as not so attractive.
Yes. And, of course, you remember the madness of King George. We all know what caused that. Mummy and Daddy were related by more than mere marriage.
Were they?
Probably. It's good enough for me. Mordred was raised far away from Arthur's court, although he knew his true parentage and the destiny that lay before him. Over the years, this bred in him a deep resentment over his exile from his rightful place at court. And when he finally arrived at Camelot, He impressed the Knights of the Round Table with his exceptional abilities, but the other men were sceptical of his intentions, and for good reason. Mordred was frequently depicted as a murderously violent rapist and a traitor.
Oh dear.
One translation of the Quest for the Holy Grail and the Death of Arthur states that he would have had a very handsome face if his demeanour had not been so wicked. During the Civil War, Mordred incited a coup against King Arthur, taking the throne and deceiving the people of Logres into believing that he was pure and well-intentioned. Kay was one of the few who opposed his rule, and when Arthur's army returned from battle, Mordred's supporters were ready to ambush them. Although Arthur and his army survived, the fighting did not end. He and Mordred agreed to meet each other once again for a final battle. And when the two met on the battlefield, Arthur charged Mordred and ran him through with a spear. Mordred, with the last of his strength, further impaled himself to get within striking distance of the king, and he struck him in the head with a decisive blow. Patricide,
killed him.
Patricide and regicide with a single stroke. As Arthur was dragged away, he delivered one final address to Mordred. Mordred, in an evil hour did I beget you. You have ruined me and the kingdom of Logres, and you have died for it. Cursed be the hour in which you were born. And that brings us to the end of our tales of the Knights of the Round Table.
Bloody hell. About time. I want to hear about Merlin.
But look, we're at 1 hour and 36 minutes in, and you still haven't said, I've got to put a chicken in the oven.
Well, that's the advantage of starting just after breakfast.
And also of having a particularly interesting subject, I think.
Well, it's all been a bit of enlightenment for me.
Yeah, of course.
I have to say.
A bit of a bubble burster.
I think you need to do dinosaurs next week just to convince me that dinosaurs weren't, in fact, on the Earth at the same time as we were.
Oh, I've got bad news for you. You think dinosaurs
Sarah
were real?
Palin moment.
Oh, my God. Yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed all that. I hope you learned something from it. And I hope you listened all the way to the end, because this is definitely one of our longest ever episodes.
Yeah.
And guess what? Yeah. It's the same price as the last week's episode.
Yeah.
So you're getting double bubble for the same money, which is zero. Unless you happen to be one of our lovely Patreons.
Yeah.
Who
Good
get
on the Patreon.
Extra episodes every week for the price of a cup of coffee or a pint of lager. In fact, these days it's probably cheaper than a cup of coffee and a pint of lager.
Yes, I don't know how much a pint of lager costs these days. How much do you pay for a pint of lager in England? £5?
No, come on, that was years ago.
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah, it's
really.
Yeah, you'd be lucky unless you're going to a Weatherspoons. You ain't paying less than £6 or £7 for a pint these days.
Shit, really? Is that right? So if you go to you're in a nice local pub, that's sort of £7 for a pint.
The last time I was in England, even in Camden Town, I went for a pint with my brother, and it was £9 a pint then. And that's like 10 years ago.
Camden Town is full of posers. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but it wasn't when we were kids.
What's that pub on the canal overlooking the lock?
The Lock Tavern.
Is that what it's called, the Lock Tavern?
Yeah.
That looked like a pretty popular place.
Yeah, because they've got the patio bar that overlooks the lock as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So in the summer it is. And also, it's right in the middle of Camden Market. So
that's
it's
right.
Guaranteed punters.
Do you have any family or friends still living in Camden?
Yeah, of course.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, when you say of course.
Well, my older brother, Rob, he still lives in my mum's old flat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Camden?
It's in the borough of Camden, but it's closer to Parliament Hill and Hampstead than it is to Camden Town.
So he's a bit of a toff Camdenite.
I wouldn't say that. He's a carpenter, like Jesus.
He's a chippy.
He's a chippy. Snickery. Anyway.
He must be retired now. If he's your older brother.
Well, he's only 1 year older.
All right.
Anyway, it brings us to the end of this week's fabulous episode. Hope you learned something. I hope you stuck with us till the end, because it's a great episode, in my opinion. So I don't care what anyone else thinks. Anyway, we'll see you the same time next week. Don't forget, you can follow us on our socials. Very, very few socials. Just basically Facebook these days. And we'll see you same time next week. In the meantime, have yourselves a strange week, and don't go believing everything you're told as a child.
No, clearly.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.